Meditations is perhaps the only document of its kind ever made. So, who was Marcus Aurelius? A Roman emperor from 161 to 180 AD, Marcus practiced Stoicism and wrote about his own Stoic practice in his journals. He is an inspiring example for us to think about today. As if we get tired, frustrated, or to deal with some kind of a crisis, the evil that man do harms you only if you do evil in response. Marcus reminded himself to not to be upset by the misdeeds of others and to correct them if possible, but if they were stubborn and would not change, to accept it. In reacting to such people, we must never allow our own principles to be violated. He believed that people do bad things out of ignorance of what is good and evil, and that we should actually forgive them for their errors even when they harm us. Marcus stresses that social animals such as humans are meant to live in harmony. It is against the nature to despise evil people and try to avoid them. When we find ourselves judging others, we ought to consider our own faults first. Then we will find that we are less prone to blaming them. Rather than judge and be disturbed by others, which sets us up for disappointment and distress, we ought to focus on self-improvement. Focus on yourself. Focus on what you might be doing wrong. Fix that. Keep an eye fixed on your own life. There is no need, and frankly, there is not enough time to waste a second spying on other people. Mind your business. Fame and desires are not worth pursuing. Marcus repeatedly explains why the pursuit of fame and praise is foolish, and why we especially should not care about what others think of us. He points out that so many famous men have been forgotten in the past. Fame, no matter how great it looks, will always fade with time, and pursuit of it merely demonstrates one's vanity. When you have done well and another person has been benefited by it, why like a fool do you look for a third thing on top? Credit for the good deed or a favor in return? The desire or fame is just one of the pitfalls in the life. Marcus addresses this when he talks about the prayer, claiming that one should not ask the gods to satisfy a desire or prevent something feared, but ask them if actually God can remove the desire and be okay with whatever life gives to us. The universe is a constant change. Marcus Aurelius' strongest philosophy comes when he speaks on the eternally changing nature of the universe. We only ever lose the present moment because that is all what we actually have. Not to live as if you have endless years ahead of you that overshadows you while you are alive and able. Just be good. Problems are created in the mind. Being superior to pain and pleasure allows us to fully accept the course of the nature and focus on being virtuous. Our perceptions of the events as troublesome are the real source of any unhappiness we experience, not the events themselves. Marcus believed that the person could immediately wipe any upsetting impressions from their mind and be at peace at that instant. Choose not to be harmed and you won't feel actually harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. Events can cause people to lose their cool and act immorally, but still they are not harmed by the events, but rather their reaction to them. The setbacks or problems are always expected and never they are permanent. Your rational mind is your greatest asset. Marcus Aurelius knew that our ability to reason is what sets us apart from the animals and is an important power that we must use to the fullest. Our rational minds have complete power over our opinions, and the mind only experiences suffering when it itself creates a desire for a specific outcome in the life. You have power over your mind, not outside or external events. Realize this and you will find the strength within you. Marcus teaches that our mind is a thing that controls itself completely and is separated from the world. It cannot be affected by the events unless it makes itself be affected. Now, 3 key takeaway lessons from meditations. The most important lesson is that our minds have great power. We can choose how we perceive events and we can always choose to be virtuous. If we practice, we can instantly erase any bad impressions from our mind. We are completely in control of our thoughts and actions too. People will always do awful or at least unpleasant things, and we are only responsible for our own virtue. We can choose to be good even when we are surrounded by wrong. When another harms us, we can react with kindness, advising them of their errors if possible, but being okay with it if they ignore this advice. When another angers us, we must immediately consider their point of view. Remember that we have our own faults and respond with positivity and indifference to any supposed harm done to us. The deepest lesson in meditations relates to our mortality and the shortness of the lifespan. We shall soon be replaced, and we ought not to waste our lives being distressed. We should focus on doing well for the others with the unknowable amount of the time we have left with us. Now, best Marcus Aurelius quotes from Meditations. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be the one. If it is not right, do not do it. And if it is not true, do not say it. The mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting. The impediment to action advances the action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Concentrate every minute like a man on doing what is in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, with justice, and on freeing yourself from all other distractions. Yes, you can if you do everything as if it were the last thing you were doing in your life, and stop being aimless. Stop letting your emotions override what your mind tells you. Stop being hypocritical, self-centered, irritable. You see how few things you have to do to live just satisfying life. If you can manage this, that's all even a God can ask of you. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Not to feel defeated or despondent because your days aren't packed with wise and moral actions, but to get back up when you actually fail. Ambition means tying your well-being to what other people say or do. Sanity means tying it to your own actions. Discard your misperceptions, limit yourself to just the present. So friends, Marcus Aurelius shares his own experience to live life to the fullest against all odds and to behave perfectly even in extreme situations. One can apply it by doing certain kind of the practices. Thanks for watching this video.